That is the last day of CSS Beginners to Advanced. A warm welcome to all of you. Hope you have enjoyed the series. Please make yourself comfortable. A warm welcome. It's 45-degree in Bhopal, and I hope it's very warm across the country. So please take care of yourself. Today is the last day of CSS Grid, and we will be completing the grid today. Hope you all have enjoyed this. Attendance form will be shared in the live YouTube chat where you all can fill the attendance in the Google form here. So hi all, a warm welcome. Please join fast. Today is the last day of this series, and hope we will come back again with the same series in some couple of days. That's it in our schedule. Tomorrow we will have a 9 to 5 session, as you all know, where we will be completing entire topics tomorrow and day after tomorrow, starting from HTML to React. Hope the link is all. Have you all reached with the link and the events schedule? So let's start now. As you all have seen, as you all can see, I've created one second. I have created a new folder with the name of CSS Grid 2, and will create the basic file HTML index.html and style.css. So one second. Okay, so today, as I told you, today is the last day of the CSS beginner to advanced class, and today we will be doing the autofill and autofit property of this tutorial. As I told you, today we will complete the CSS part, and we will actually today we will complete this part, and let's start with autofill and autofit property. So what is autofill property? Autofill property is used with repeat function. It is not being used single, it is always used with repeat function, and it is used by the grid to fit as many as item as possible in the row. It is used by the grid to fit as many as item in the row. So we'll do one thing. Let's create a basic HTML structure, and then we will try to use the autofill property. Once again, for this, I have already created index.html, and here Let's create some basic styling. Before this, let's link the file. So as you all can see, this is the basic structure what we have created is coming here. So we are actually learning the autofill property which is used by the grid in order to fit the items properly in a row. So let's do it and have what container displays grid will have the grid gap of 20 px and have the border npx solid and black color. Save it as you all can see. Now let's have grid template column, and have autofill so 1 second. Okay, fine. So as you all can see, what we have given grid template column, repeat autofill 150 px. So we have assigned 150 px space to all the items which we have created, and these items has to be fit using the space of 150 px inside this box. So as you all can see, depend upon the screen size. As I have told you, grid is very responsive. They most of the things they have done them by themselves. So as you all can see, depend upon the screen size and the box, the items will place themselves accordingly. So this is the property what we are discussing is autofill. It is being used with repeat function. Now as we have seen, this might be a desktop view, and let me change it to mobile view. Let's see the response. Fine, perfect. So they actually auto arrange themselves depend upon the size. Now moving on to the next property what I have told you, which is auto fit. Hi Dikshit. So moving on to the next property which is auto fit, and for this let me do some changes here. Comment out. Now as you all can see, we have a perfect, perfect. Okay. So as you all can see, let me select the grids now. Autofit and autofill are almost very similar. 1 second, let me change it to autofit now, and we'll see. So as we change the this from autofill to autofit, as you all can see, nothing has happened. Why? because it is being used by the grid. We cannot fit additional items here. So let us add some property to item number 4, which is the last one. But item 4, 1 second. This is- Okay, so we'll have grid column end. So it will have a effect. One second. So as you all can see, what we have done, we moved this item number 4 to the last of the box. This is being used shift. This is being used in a very common pattern where you have menus in the navigation bar and you want some one of the menu to shift to the last of the header. This property is being used in this way. So moving on to the next property, which is MinMax. 1 second. So moving on to the next property, which is MinMax, which is being used along with Autofill and is a very powerful concept which make your website very responsive without much use of media queries. Let me show you how. For this, let's have 1 second. 5. We will do one thing. We will have only 4 items to in order to understand the min-max property. And in this, let me change the content to welcome all. So now, as you all can see, autofill 150px. So let me do one thing. We'll change the size to 100px. And now, as you all can see, welcome all is coming out of the size what we have created. So item 5, item 7, item 8 lies inside the box, but welcome all, as the content is more than the available size, it is moving out from the box. So how to fix it? In order to fix it, there is a property called MinMax which will be used. So we'll tell you how to use it. MinMax 1 fr. Repeat autofill minmax 150 px 1 fr. So what does this minmax feature did? As you all can see, 1 second. Let me change the 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. It is not working properly. Yes. So as you all can see, they have adjusted the size as per the content available. There are two types of sizes what we have given, 150 px and 1 fr. So what, depending upon the available content, they have adjusted, or what I can say, they have picked the size as what size we have given, 150 px or 1 fr. So as you all can see, item number 05, item number 07 and item number 08 have picked up 1 fr, and welcome all item has picked up the space of 1 px. So this is what MinMax feature used. Let us see the site response. 1 second. See, depending upon the size, the grid feature is very responsive, either in mobile view or tablet view or desktop view. You can see the response. It works very properly. It is very responsive, and it is almost very quick also. Moving on to the next part, but in the desktop view, the items are sort of one side, and there is a lot of empty space in the grid. As you all can see, we can fix this problem. So what space I am talking of is this one, this leftover space. So we can actually fix this space with the help of 1 second, with the help of Autofit. Now see, nothing will happen, but as soon as, now see, the leftover space, as what earlier we were showing with in autofill, has now been replaced by autofit property. The entire available space inside the box is being used by the available items depending on the content. So this is the this is how we are combining repeat function, autofit function, minmax. So I hope this is clear to all. I'm going very slow so that you all people can grab the things easily. So moving on to the next part in CSS Grid, what is called as One second. Which is the grid template areas. So, as we have seen in the last class, we use grid column and grid row concept to place item in in this part. We will use another powerful concept of grid known as grid template area to place items. So in order to do this, let me change the code to some extent. So as you all can see, what is here, we actually want to design a two layer layout which have actually three rows and three columns. Which have actually three rows, perfect, and three columns, in which we want to have two sidebars, a footer and a content. So as you all can see, we have created that, but the positioning proper is not happened properly. So what do we want from this? We want actually two. Perfect. So you all can see we have actually created a basic table where how we want which item to be placed. So now our layout with development tools is open and will show the template areas as you all can see. So as you all can see the names where what we want to place. So this is the footer area, this is a sidebar, this is a sidebar, and this comes the main content. So this basically you will all be able to see in Mozilla only. None of the Chromes, none of the browsers will support this. So that is why it is said always use Mozilla while using Flexbox or Grid. So attendance will be shared in some time in the YouTube live chat only. So don't ask for attendance. We will share as it's a system driven process. We will share there only. So now, in order to place the content, we have to select the item and then use the grid area property. So that is what I want to show you. I think one second. So as you all can see, the footer comes now in the center. Let me close it. So the layout, what does this shows? As the footer is in the center, these are the sidebars, and this is the main content. Let me do one thing. See the responsiveness of CSS Grid. So by using grid template area, it is very easy to use media queries also. You only have to define the new layout we are defining in a media query for width as 700 px. So one of the very amazing concept which you all will be amazed or surprised to see. Uttaj says, what are these numbers on the screen? These numbers are basically the grids, the number of the grids. These are basically, so in the developer edition, which you will be able to see that how many columns and rows we have created. As you all can see, we have created three columns, one, two, three column and three rows, one, two, and three rows. So you can close it. Fine. So now I hope Uttej, you have not attended the previous class. I guess that's why you are asking for these numbers visible on the screen. So in case if not, please attend the yesterday's class so that you will be able to understand what we have covered yesterday and why these numbers are coming on the screen. So moving on to the next part, which I was talking about, which is very amazing, and for this property is known as the legendary masonry layout. The name is a little bit typical, but for this to understand, let me create 1 second. So as you all can see, in order to understand the concept of legendary masonry layout, link for yesterday, okay, we'll share in some time. Okay, wait, let me finish this topic first. So for this legendary masonry layout, what does this layout do? So in this, let me do one thing. Let have build template column, and we'll have repeat of let me have 10 columns of 1 fr. As you all can see, we have created 10 columns of 1 fr. So let us do some changes in the items. So what does you see? We have actually changed the sizes of the items considering the nth child. I have given the space, I have changed the span to 6. Yeah, hi Vishal. Hope you are fine. So we have changed the sizes of the box using the span. Now, what does this legendary masonry do? As you all can see, this legendary masonry layout will adjust the items within the available screen. Okay, but but I'm repeating, the sequence might get disturbed. So don't, in order where you don't want the sequence of the items to be there, you can use this property of grid auto flow dense, where they automatically adjust themselves depending upon the screen size. As you all can see, but the sequence will get disturbed. So as if you can read 1 2 3 4 5, 6 is there, 7 8 9 10 11, where is 12? 12 is here. So they have adjusted themselves based on the available size in the screen space. So this is what legendary masonry works. So there is no guarantee of the sequence to be proper, but in case where you want the items to be placed irrespective of the sequence, you can use this property of grid auto flow dense, which is known as the legendary masonry layout. So now moving on to the second last topic of the CSS grid. I hope you will be able to get the things clearly. And let me tell you one thing. Tomorrow we will have a special boot camp from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. from in which we will be covering the entire HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, each and everything. So make yourself comfortable. Some breaks will be there, tea break or and lunch break and noon tea break, so that you all will make yourself comfortable, and certificate will also be there. But you have to fill the attendance form, and some projects also will be there in order to get the completion certificate. So moving on to the second last topic of the in the grid, we'll have the important concept of CSS grid alignment and centering. I'm repeating, CSS grid alignment and centering, that how you will be able to use this. So we will be learning here justify content, align content, justify item, align item, and align self and justify self. As if you remember in Flexbox, we have used this property align self and justify self, and there I have told you that we will be discussing this in depth in CSS Grid also. They use four properties: start, end, space, between, and space evenly, but there are actually seven values of all these things. So let's start with the justify item. As you know that CSS Grid don't have a flex direction property. Okay, so is justify work on row axis and align works on column axis. So let me create a basic 1 second structure in order to understand this justify content, align content, justify item, align item. So 1 second. And here So what I did, I have created a grid with grid gap of 20 px. Gap is the space between the grids. Perfect. So again, a grid template column with 10 columns of 1 FR each. So this is the way how I have placed all the 40 items. So now what is justify items? Justify items are actually used to align items along in row axis. These are basically the row, as you all know. The vertical are the columns, the horizontal are the rows. So the justify items have actually four values. With the help of this, you can actually place items. So what are those values? These are justify item start. So with the help of this, you can place the items in the start of the row, justify item end in the end of the row, center stretch as you can stretch the item within the row. So let's use it. Justify item start. So we'll do one thing. Let me change the color to white so that you all will be able to see where the content is moving. So let me show you. So as you all can see, what we have given a grid gap of 20 px. What is this grid gap? Grid gap is the space between the grids. So here, as you all can see, items have placed towards the start. Fine. So let me show you the end. So as you all can see, items move towards the end. Let me have center. So as you all can see, items are there in the center. Here border 2px solid red is not required, Apurva, because I am actually telling how to place items, not in the border. Earlier we used border, you are correct, but here this is a different property. So, and the last one, which is a stretch. So the items have stretched themselves within the gizard cell. I hope things are clear and you all will be able to grab the things properly. So moving on to the align items now. What is align items? Align items are again a property of CSS Grid which we will be using in column axis. So column axis is basic nothing but the vertical ones. So again it have the same property, same values as what was there in justify, start, end, stretch, and center. So let me have grid template rows, save it. One second. So we will do with align item start. So as it works on row level, sorry, column level, as you all can see, it has moved towards the start of the column. So moving on to the next property of align item, which is end. So it moved towards the end of the column. Center, towards the center. And the last one is the stretch. So let me tell you one thing once again, it only works on column axis. So don't focus or don't highlight yourself or your eye on the row axis. So let me have a small trick where in order to place the item in the center, you can use justify item center and align item center. So the item will be placed automatically in a perfect center position. As you all can see, let me close this inspect. As you all can see, the items have placed in a perfect center position. Okay. So now we will move to justify content. Earlier we were discussing on justify item. Now we will use justify content, align content. It's a similar one, but they are generally used when your total size of the grid is less than the size of the grid container. So let's understand with the help of example. So we will have, so here, based on the request from Apurva, let me add a border of npx solid black. What color she said? Red. So let's have red. So Purva, but red color is not showing good here because the background is similar to red. So let's change it to black. Fine. So what is there? We'll have grid template column. Let me do one thing. So as you all can see, what has happened? So now, as what we have seen earlier, justify content have 7 values, which is start, end, center, stretch, space evenly, space around, and space between. Like that, what we have earlier understood in Flexbox. So let's move on to the start of the first property as justify content start, save it, So all the content have moved toward the start. So move on to the end. So the content have moved towards the end of this box. And see the response. It is actually responsive based on the available screen size. See, this is the size of the box, and the entire content is towards the end. So now justify content center. See, it is in the center. The fourth one, stretch. So they have stretched themselves. The next one, space around. So they have created space around themselves. See, space, 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 space between. See, they have space between them. Space evenly. See, evenly they have created space between them. So this is the these are the seven properties of justify content. Like similar to justify content, we have align content also, which have the same similar seven properties. So for this, between, save it. So let's have align content. Start. So as you all can see, the contents have aligned themselves in the start. So now end, save it. See, they are in the end. One second, let me delete it. Now you will be able to understand more better. So we'll have center. They are in the center. So we'll do one thing. Let's have some height also, so that you can easily see the alignment. See, see, center, stretch, space around, space between, space evenly. So these are the 7 properties of align content, similar to justify content. I hope you will be able to, you are getting things clearly. So now we will move to align self. Align self is basically used, or before align self, let's have justify self. Justify self is similar to justify content, but it overrides the value of justify content and is meant for alignment of a particular single item. Similar to justify in flex, here it have only 4 values: start and center and stretch. So one second, and let me tell you one thing, it applies on a single item. So let's target item 8 dot item 8. Let's change the background to orange, and we'll have the justify self as start. So as you all can see, this particular item number 8 is towards the start, and rest other are in a stretch condition. So let's move this item number 8 towards the end. See, it moves towards the end. Let's have center, let's have center, have stretch, all into the stretch mode. So it is in alignment with rest of the items now. Now we'll have align self. Align self is similar to justify self, but it works on column level. Here you can give, here similar to justify self, align self also overrides the value which we have given or which we have applied to the entire container. Similarly to justify self, it has also 4 properties, 4 values: start, end, center, and stretch. So for this, let's change it to 20. Save it. So now this is a basic structure what is coming here. Here let's target item number 14 to background as purple and align self let's have start, save it. Let's check item number 14. Here is the item number 14 with purple color and is in the start of the column level. Okay, 1 second. Okay, fine. So now let's change it to end. See, where is it? See, it moves in the end. So let's have stretch. Okay. So as all the items are in stretch condition, so they are also in the same pattern. So the last one is end. Sorry, center. So it's in the center. So this is basically the justify self, align self, justify content, align content, justify and content properties. So now let me have, in case anyone have any doubt, you can ping it up. So now we will do one thing. Let's do a simple project using these properties so that you will be able to understand how to use such properties. 1 second, let me have the code first. Okay. So this is the basic HTML what I have created. One second. Fine. So let us move on to create this album properly in a perfect manner. So as you all can see, displays grid template column. We have auto fit property using MinMax 300 px and 1 FR. Depending on the content can decide which to use and grid gap of 5 px. So this is what we are designing. So let's add some more thing in this. A 5 px, perfect. So what we have given a background color, a box shadow, as you all can see a little bit image shadowness is there in padding of 20 px across it. So now let's have display as grid, and we'll do one thing, grid template column of 150 px and 1 fr. Save it. Let's have again a grid gap of 10 px. So as you all can see, the arrangement is looking properly. So now the items, the content, what items have has also been fixed. This is what being done by the property called as fit. So now let's do one last thing. In this, we have align items center. So it will automatically place all the items in the center. So as you all can see, depending upon the screen size, see, they have aligned themselves. This is what the quality of CSS grid. So by this, we have completed the CSS grid and the complete CSS beginner to advanced series. So in all the 5 days, we have given the attendance sheet in the YouTube live chat. You all are requested to please fill it in order to get eligible for the participation certificate. In case anyone have any doubt, you can get back to us tomorrow. Please make yourself comfortable. Tomorrow is a very big day. We will be again doing a morning 9 to 5 series for Saturday and Sunday. Thank you. Same to you.